Kong began as a concept in 2009 when a couple of friends rented a garage and started building. But today, over 10 trillion API calls per month. The most popular API gateway on GitHub with more than 67,000 stars. 300 million Kong gateway downloads and counting. We couldn't have achieved this without you. You contributed thousands of lines of code each year. You've championed Kong across the world. And you've connected with each other across more than 80 meetup groups on every major continent. Help us continue to innovate and improve the world of APIs. Get involved today at konghq.com/community. Kong, by developers, for developers.
Viktor.
If you smell what the Kong is cooking.
He's doing it again.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me for Kong Builders Live. And as you might know, Kong Builders is the show that we're doing live on YouTube where we're talking about all things Kongs, technology and stuff. We have a pretty awesome news for you today. I have some pretty cool guests, so let's jump right in. Welcome to my virtual real studio, and we're gonna start with talking about central neural system. So when we started talking about in the morning with about all these dependencies between brain and neurons and things like that, I thought, would it be not so far-fetched to talk about Kong hybrid mode as a also central neural system and a peripheral neural system, where we have the brain is control plane of Kong, and the neurons is multiple data plane instances, right? So control plane is brain of the system. And today I'm extremely excited to announce the next generation of control plane for Kong named Coco. Let's get the round of applause about this. I'm really excited about this. I don't know, I'm super excited about this. So Coco brings some of the cool new technology. First of all, it's written in super modern language Go. That's pretty cool, right? It uses some of the cool technologies like a gRPC, WebSockets, and things like that. Now you have your admin API in the two multiple protocols, which means that you can talk to this one through different languages or generate whatever app you want to talk about this. It's better. It's faster. It's just better. It's better. And to hold it, because you're going to see what it's all about. And to show you what the Coco is about, I would like to invite to the stage my friend Benjamin Bentroll. Benny, welcome to Kong Builders. All right. So what are you going to show us today?
Yeah, so basically we've got a setup here running on Docker Compose, and we've got our Coco actually managing two Kong instances on different versions at the same time, securely, of course, via an encrypted connection.
Okay, let's see how it goes.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start it up. So just with the Docker Compose up. So we're starting the Kong instances and Coco, and they're already talking to each other, so that was pretty quick. And I think to show you what actually goes on, we can switch over to Insomnia. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check, is our Coco running, and does it see the Kong nodes? So we can do that via a simple GET request to Coco, and we're just going to request the nodes, and yeah, there they are. So we can actually see that we've got a Kong 2.8 and a Kong 3.0 running. They're fully compatible, so that's wonderful.
So you're telling me that from one control plane, you can actually manage multiple different data planes and even different versions of these data planes.
Yeah, and that's great for upgrading. You know, if you can just add a newer version plane and you can try around with it. So yeah, that's wonderful.
That's pretty cool. So let's see if we can do something cool. So the control plane is the brain. So let's ask the brain to send some commands to our neurons, right?
All right. So those Kong instances are empty, but we can create a service via Coco. So basically, we're just calling the Coco API to create a service. And That's pretty easy. So we've got our service running now. And we also can set up a route, just like...
Oh, I see you're using this nice, cool feature from Insomnia where we can change...
Oh, it's so beautiful. I just learned about it just a few days ago. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
you can
that's
basically
pretty
pick up stuff from the earlier requests.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You should too. You should think about it.
You should definitely check that out. So, and the next thing is we're going to create a plugin just for good measures. And yeah, there it is. So we've got it running now. And Coco will basically send that out to all of the data planes, and we can just check that. We can check the route on our Kong 2.8. So that's running on port 8000 now, and we're just gonna check
So now
it.
we're hitting the data plane specifically.
Yeah, exactly. So we're hitting the data plane, in this case, the Kong 2.8 data plane.
What's gonna happen if you keep clicking?
It should actually fail at some point because we've got the rate limit plugin. So I'll just click again and again and again, and yeah, so now our rate limit exceeded. So too bad, we have to wait a minute. But we've got our other Kong running, so the Kong 3. We can actually use that, and it's working fine. So also if you check the headers, you see that you've got the rate limiting, you see that's going on Kong 3.0. So that's beautiful. And
since we're in Insomnia, maybe we should also use gRPC feature of Insomnia to talk to admin protocol.
It's so great that you can actually do that here. So actually with Insomnia, we can also use gRPC, and Coco supports gRPC, so we can send a request there to list the nodes, and it works. So we've got the node service, and we can just call the list nodes. And yeah, basically we get the same response here. So we see the nodes running. Wonderful.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Benny. Thank you so much for being part of Kong Builders. Well, folks, I'm delighted to announce that Coco is available as a technical preview today. Today. So you can start play around today. All right. I think it was a pretty exciting thing. Moving on. I don't know what about you, but my personal favorite place to deploy all my workloads in these days is Kubernetes. So I like to run Kong, and Kong Ingress Controller is a fantastic piece of technology that allows me to build all my demos and don't worry about the load if I will do live demo and people try to also hit this demo because I have rate limiting plugins and I have IP restriction plugins. And in order to install this demo, I was always using Helm charts. And the Helm charts is the recommended way to do all the things with Kong. However, there's an interesting aspect. When you want to do or enforce certain behavior, Helm charts are declarative. So you cannot, you can do stuff with the shell scripts and putting some of the snippets of your shell scripts inside the YAML, but it looks nasty. So that's why Kubernetes community came up with this idea or pattern called operator pattern. And operator pattern, essentially, it's that someone from the Kong with experience of running Kong in production sitting inside your Kubernetes cluster. Isn't that nice? So instead of hiring the armies of consultants, you can have one piece of technology that's called Kong Gateway Operator that would be running inside your cluster. It will be doing fantastic things. And today, again, second time, I'm super excited. I'm super pumped that we announcing and bringing this Kong Gateway Operator in the technical preview. And to show you what is possible to do, just a tiny bit, I would like to invite my friend Andrew Q in the Kong Builders. Andrew, welcome to Kong Builders.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so let's see what we have here.
Okay. So as you mentioned, it's the...
Here we go.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So we're having a look at the gateway operator. So the Kong operator, and it's based on the Kubernetes gateway API. So the idea of it is being able to deploy Kong gateway, but only using CRDs.
Yeah.
So like with the gateway.
So I know, I can do Helm charts. And for the Helm charts, I always carry that big of values of YAML that modifies different configurations. So do I need to do same stuff here?
No, I think that's the magic of this. You literally only need to do an initial installation to CRDs. So you start with a gateway class, and you define the gateway class CRD, and you point it to the operator that will be doing a lot of the sort of magic behind the scenes.
So this is how we're calling this brain that you just said, the brain that runs inside Kubernetes.
Exactly.
Would it be too crazy to do this live and
No,
let's deploy?
That's exactly what we're going to do. So
All
I'm
right.
going to apply that gateway class, and then actually to do the installation of Kong, what we do is we define a gateway CRD, and we link it to the gateway class that I've just defined, and I apply that.
So what I see here, you're using gateway networking KS.io, which is gateway API, new API that come into Kubernetes right now in the beta mode, and it's cool that we're using standard stuff to configure things like gateway, right?
Exactly. So just jump into the cluster and having a look at the gateway object or resource. You can see here now straight away, I've got an IP address here. So this is the public IP address to be able to hit my Kong data plane. So I'm just going to copy that IP address, go to Insomnia.
Naturally.
Go over here, paste that, and hit it. And as you can see, you get the default response for Kong when you've got no configurations defined. Just having a look at the header, and out the box, we can see we've got Kong installed.
So question to you. So we're running version 3.0, which is kind of like a new thing. What about, like we found something that we want to change a different version? Is it something common that you see as a field engineer that you see that customer doing, or maybe the experimenting with different versions? Can we do something like this, and how the gateway operator will help us here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think version upgrades is probably one of those topics that's always asked, because you always want to make sure you're keeping up to date, especially if there are things like security fixes, stuff like that, that you want to update your system with. So being able to do that is very easy. Being able to configure the gateway, there's a gateway configuration CRD that you can define. And based off of this, you can do things like setting the versions of your control plane and data plane. That gateway object deploys the control plane and data plane separately under the hood, so you don't have to worry about that. But you can also use the CRD to define all the other Kong configurations that you're used to out of the box.
Shall we try to kind of like go from 3 to 2.81 instead, like to see if this also will work?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's define that.
This is going to be live, folks. We're doing this live. It's not pre-recorded. It's pretty cool. Just like let's have some support for us. Come on. All right.
Okay, so taking that configuration, I'm going to apply that. So it gets applied to my cluster. And then mapping that configuration to my actual instance of Kong that I've got there.
Right.
I just define it in my gateway class, and I refer to that particular configuration that I've just defined.
So essentially, we're using a kind of standard and Kubernetes native CRDs to configure Kong in a Kubernetes cloud native way, right?
Exactly. Okay, and now going across to Insomnia again. If I hit that, you can now see there.
Woo! We just live updated the Kong gateway just like by changing few numbers. I think it was pretty cool. Andrew? Exactly. So we can upgrade the next time. We're doing experiments here. So all this naysayers, right? I think it's pretty exciting. So folks, Andrew, fantastic demo. Thank you so much for being the part of the Kong builders. Again, Kong Gateway Operator is available today. So you can grab all these things, grab the demo, stick around, and I'll tell you where you can get this. But it's available today in a technical preview. All right. So I talk about a lot about the control plane, talk about brains, and gateway operator. It's some sort of the control plane that runs inside Kubernetes. So let's talk about innovations that come into data plane. So last year, during Kong Summit, we did a sneak peek preview of things that we were working for a very long time, and the team of engineers at Kong working for a very long time, as introducing power of WebAssembly inside the best gateway of the world that allows you to do cool things that may be not available in certain languages. So that's why we're bringing this runtime. So the WebAssembly allows us to bring in different languages and compile it and run them natively as part of the gateway. And to show you what is possible to do these days, I would like to invite on stage a friend of mine, Kat Morgan. Kat, welcome to Kong Builders. As you know, Kat also...
I get the big chair, right?
Yeah, so she's also one of co-hosts of Kong Builders. So don't forget to subscribe, enable notifications, so you catch a few episodes in future in our YouTube channel. Kat, what are you going to show us today?
Victor, you know this is our first Kong Builders together, right?
Yeah.
That it's live just makes it more special.
Yes.
Aww. Okay.
Aww.
All right, so we're doing WasmX. You just announced it.
Yes.
And we're going to show how easy it is in a few lines of code to
Yes.
run a Wasm plugin on Kong Gateway.
And I will switch the screen so the people also will see how awesome is that. So,
Okay, all right. So the first thing we got to do is, do you know if the last demo was removed?
it doesn't matter.
All right.
Probably not. So we need to kill the previous demo. That's the rule of live demos. Make sure the previous demo is down. So switch to the first screen and kill it. Just
There we go.
yeah, just kill it. Yeah.
So what we're doing is killing the last demo, so we have room
One more time,
for the
and it
next
will
one.
be to make sure that's like the
Yes.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. So here is where we're going to work on WASM. Now, the first thing that we want to do is take a look at the where really?
different. Yep. One more. One more.
No.
Other side. Yeah. One more. One
No.
more. One more. No.
No. All right.
No. Just. No. That's okay. It was. I promised. I promised. It's awesome. Yeah. Here we go.
It is awesome.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So basically, what we did is we grabbed a WASM Hello World code base from GitHub, and we're going to run it in Kong Gateway instead of
legit.
Envoy.
Yeah.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
That introduces doubt. It is legit. Okay. So first thing I'm going to show you is we're going to use the quick start script to launch Kong Gateway locally. Now, there are a couple of key pieces here. We are telling...
Talk a little bit about this gateway Wasmer thing. What is that?
Wasmer. So Wasm has several different runtimes. We're using Wasmer here. There's V8 produced by Google and a few others like Wasmtime.
Yep.
Yeah, but we're just going to use Wasmer today. And so what we're going to do here is tell the Kong Gateway that there is a mounted plugin, and we're using this command here to volume mount it into the container itself. So let's copy that and run it. All right, so while that's running, let's actually take a look at the code that makes the magic happen.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the bottom of the script, and it's line 60. It's tiny.
61 lines of code, okay.
All right. And what we're going to do here, it is a hello world, but we're not going to modify the body of this particular example. We're going to just add headers so that we can track the packets that are modified by WASM.
Yep.
So this is where we're defining the headers, and then we're taking a look at the request headers. We are defining a couple of static. We've got a cow say hello world,
Yeah.
and a powered by proxy WASM.
It's in my books. It's a hello world of gateway, like modifying headers. It is just.
I can't just be scientific.
Yeah.
That would be boring. Okay. So at this point, you'll notice that we have a makefile here, so it's easy to just build it real quick with cargo, and then the package itself is already pulled with the repo. So Kong is healthy.
It's a good thing. It's always a good thing.
That's a good.
Yeah.
And
it's
end of the
ready.
day. All right. So now we're going to jump into insomnia. Do we have?
Yes, we do.
Sweet. And WASMX. All right. So there's going to be a couple of steps here. We're going to make a service. We're going to create a route that points at that service. And then we're going to configure a plugin on that route. But it doesn't take that long to do. So starting by hitting the service. So we can see we got a 201. We're going to create a route for that service. You'll notice mockbin. And now we're going to actually define. So this is where we're telling with a small JSON payload that we want Kong gateway with the admin API to go ahead and attach this plugin to that service.
Nice.
Let's hit
so
it.
In this case, it's a part of the Kong gateway. So its code is running there natively.
Yeah, you've run plugins before on Kong
Yes.
Gateway, right?
Yes.
And they're just these Lua plugins, and they modify packets just like
Yes.
you're used to. Well, this
So
is the same thing,
Let's
but
see
Wasm.
if it actually works for us.
It's a big question. You know, I got those errors before. Do you think I'm going to
Hello
get errors
world.
this
So
time?
there's the two type of
Okay,
errors.
so that hello world is just the body. So we have to go into the headers to see if we have it. All right, so we have Cowsay, hello world, powered by proxy Wasm.
I think it's pretty awesome.
I think it works.
It works. It works.
Okay.
So think about this. Piece of Rust code that was developed for the platform that WebAssembly runs inside your Kong gateway. Kat, thank you so much. And again, stay tuned for more episodes that Kong builders will go live in the YouTube. All right. The moment that I hope many of you were waiting. So where you can get access to these goodies. So I'm happy to announce that we starting a new program or new platform that some of the adventurous and inventive users can go and see what the Kong is cooking. You need to go to incubator.konghq.com. Together. Incubator.konghq.com. One more time, I can hear you. Incubator.konghq.com. It's available today. All these things are available today. You can go there, play around, let us know if you like this. And with this, my name is Viktor Gamov, and as always, have a nice day.